What up, though, people? This is the Lion's Roar vlog. We are on the books of Adam and Eve. Book 1, chapter 24. Everything up to this point is posted, so you can click on the playlist that's entitled The Books of Adam and Eve. You can read the introduction, which I strongly suggest that you do if you've never heard of this information before, and even if you have and you've never read it or you've never heard it, listen to the introduction and then come up to where we are now. It is super good. The next 3 chapters are about to get so explosive, and you're in for a treat on the next 3 chapters for sure. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into chapter 24 of book 1 of the books of Adam and Eve. Okay, and it's entitled A Vivid Prophecy of the Life and Death of Christ, right? Let's go. Okay. Then the merciful God, or the merciful Most High God, and the lover of men looked upon Adam and Eve, the first man and first woman, because remember, Adam is not his name, Eve is not her name. That is not what they were called affectionately while they were on the earth. They weren't even speaking English to each other, okay? This is just a translation even from what the original scrolls were written in. So please understand, Eve means mother of the living. Adam just means, man, like the first man, human, okay? Okay, so first man, first woman, all right? It's just a good reference point for us to be able to say that that's who we're talking about. All right, so the Most High, merciful Most High, the lover of man, looked upon Adam and Eve and upon their blood. You got to catch up to where we are now in order to understand what's going on. You got to go listen to chapter 20. What is it, chapter 24? Go listen to chapter 23, which is part of the last video. 20, 21, 22, and 23 is all in the last video. You definitely want to go catch up. Super good. Okay, so when he looked upon their blood, well, I'm just going to tell you, remember, they tried to kill themselves because they wanted to try to atone. Adam got so distraught that he threw himself off of a mountain. And when he fell, the scripture here says that, like, there was all sorts of, like, his skin came open. There was all sorts of blood coming from him. And he thought that maybe that would have been, something like his punishment. Like, he's like, man, just trying to, he's trying to express his great grief over the fact that they transgressed. Adam was not feeling it at all. Like, as you know, over the last several chapters, Adam and Eve, but Adam more so, has been really bugging because he realizes that he's not in the state that he was once in. And remember, Adam was around before Eve was, and we don't know how long Adam. Well, you have to imagine it. He probably, even though it's written close in the scriptures, like boom, Adam, then Eve. You got to know Adam was probably around for a second before Eve ever popped up. So then you have to really think that's why Adam is the one really wigging out right here. How the young people say, like, crashing out. Yeah, he's really the one crashing out right here. And he just jumped off of a high rock. So it says, like a little high perch, a mountain area. And when he landed, he was as if dead. And Eve was feeling some type of way. All sorts of blood is coming from him. But it was because he was trying to bring some sort of balance and justification and atonement for what he did. He didn't know. He's just like, man, we messed up. I messed up. I can't. What can I do? So let's keep reading. This is about to get really good. Check this out. So the Most High looks upon their blood, and then Eve follows suit. Actually, this most recent time, like in chapter 23, she follows suit and jumps off too, I believe. Like, first she's like crying and praying, and then she jumps off too. Like, man, what's even the point? So he looks upon their blood, and let's see what it says. Which they had held up as an offering unto him without an order from him for so doing. But he wondered at them and accepted their offering. So remember, after that, when they did what they did, remember, he raised them up and they saw the blood and they went and cleaned it. And remember, they kind of made a monument, and they took the blood and they put it on the monument, and they're like, hey, we're sorry. Like, this is kind of like a sign to you to show you, like, we don't know, but like, look, maybe you accept this. Like, we're trying, basically. So the Most High, he looks, and it says the Spirit looked at, and it wondered at them, like, wow, where would they get the intuition, the wisdom, the internal drive to make that move. Not even that great deceiver who I darkened. And a few chapters ago, we saw that the spirit just took his voice away and made him dumb. So as the scripture says, go catch up, go listen so you can know what's going on. So we're seeing it like, we're not even seeing this same thing from that being. But here's these new beings that I created, these men, this woman, this man, or however they would have been referred to back then, here are these two beings that I made, and they have the wherewithal to care about trying to appease me. So he didn't see that from the deceiver, from that Satan, that Lucifer, that devil, that El Shaitan, however you want to say it, the darkened one, right? So let's continue. And the Most High, or God, sent from his presence, a bright fire that consumed their offering. Okay. So that fire could be a metaphor often in the scriptures for a great spirit or a great anointing or a great overwhelming, like, hey, like an agreement, or it could have been literal fire. Hey, it says what it says, but we're going to keep reading. So, but he consumed their offering. He accepted it. He smelt the sweet savor of their offering and showed them mercy. In other words, the spirit that they did it in was very positive to him. It drove the spirit. Again, it's to even look upon them with wonder, right? So then came the word of the Most High to Adam, to the man, and said to him, O Adam, as thou hast shed thy blood, or as you have shed your blood, so listen to this. This is the books of Adam and Eve that you're hearing this. As you have shed your blood, like he said, as an offering, as an appeasement, so I will shed my own blood when I become flesh of your seed, the human, and as you did die, because remember what it says in the previous chapter, go listen, O Adam, so also will I die. If you ain't ever heard it before, you hearing it here. First time, early up in there. He's saying this is why the Messiah that's why Yeshua died the way. That's why he had to be the one who gave his life. Because right here, it was the first man and the first woman even making that move that even had the Most High looking at them with wonder. That just goes to show you how high and intelligent and how just even unlike men, the Most High spirit really truly is, because it's like probably didn't even expect that. So it's dealing with this creation from an angle of like, well, with that darkened one, you never know what may happen. So let's just wait and see. Maybe they were trying, because that darkened one, like he told Adam and Eve, like, I already knew what you were going to do. Maybe because this thing has been attempted before. You never know. So let's just keep going on. So, well, it obviously got attempted before because, well, look at the being who was once high and he transgressed, like he told him, right? That represents Lucifer or Satan or the devil, the dark one, the shapeshifter, the evil one, right? But if you go back and listen to the videos again, we already got to really breaking down that they physically then, because the physical is reflecting the spiritual oftentimes, as we start to see. Physically, I believe they were in a different state, just like they were in a different state in their mind, in their understanding, in their spirit. You okay? So that's why this sort of thing between them and the serpent and all that different stuff is very interesting. But let's keep, you heard what I just read right there. I'm going to start again. Then the Most High came to Adam and said unto him, O Adam, as you have shed your blood, so I will shed my own blood when I become flesh of your seed, when I become like you, a man like y'all. So right there, this spirit already knows it can do that. So right there is already communicating and on some supernatural transcendent type, like it knows. It's calling it right here. If you never heard of the books of Adam and Eve, this is the first time you're hearing this. And it's deep like that. Do it take away from the sacrifice of the Messiah? No. How these got these people don't keep talking about some, oh, why do you need to go over there and listen to it? It doesn't matter. Just only listen to this. No, because the Most High is revealing all. That's why it matters. So if you don't like it, take it up with the Most High. That's how I always say it. Like, hey, listen, you ain't got to deal with me. Take it up with the Spirit of the Most High. And then go have it up with him. And then if it's something wrong, then trust me, he's going to back me up. Because I've given him the authority, full authority. Okay? I'm just a vessel. I ain't nothing but a servant. For real. I ain't nothing. I'm just saying. So he said, as you did die. He says, O Adam, also I will die. And as you did build an altar, so also I will make for you an altar on the earth. And you did offer your blood upon it, so also I will offer my blood upon an altar on the earth. And as you did sue for forgiveness through that blood, or you sought for forgiveness through that blood, so also I will make my blood forgiveness of sins. The blood, like he said, when he comes like a human and blot out transgressions in it. And now, behold, I have accepted your offering, O Adam, but the days of the covenant wherein I have bound thee, or bound your race, bound the humans, are not fulfilled. When they are fulfilled, then I will bring you back into the garden. Adam didn't get back into that garden in his life. Nope, sure didn't. Some of us on this earth are, though. Hey, it's already written. Meaning like there's going to be a generation of men that's going to see that change happen, just like the change happened with that man and that woman back then. That's real talk right there. That's deep right there. If you've never heard it, then right there, you're hearing the prophecy of the Messiah coming twice now in this book, because it's happened before. Go back and listen. So now, therefore, strengthen your heart, and when sorrow comes upon you, make me an offering, and I will be favorable to you. So this is the first man and the first woman making that move that pushed the spirit of the Most High, the Creator, to even look upon them with wonder and say, yo, I'm going to do the same thing you did. You got to think about this. Looks at them and thinks like, they really want to get back that bad? Okay, I can't let them in right now because they're not ready. Just like maybe, they shouldn't have transgressed. And it was a choice, just like the Spirit told them, go back and listen to where we are now. I've read every word. The Spirit told them it was a choice. He says, look, I'm not doing this because I hate you. I just want you to be all in this turmoil and this earth that you have to go now toil upon. And you have to go through all these different things and these curses and these punishments are put upon you. You think I did it because I just woke up and said one day, oh, screw these humans. Hey, you're going to have to go toil now. No, it was your choice. But then now he's seeing the choice of he's marveling at his creation. And even his creation he's learning from. Some of you who have children, I don't have children, but I'm watching my siblings as parents. And some of you who have children, they will teach. Well, okay, let me say this. I've worked with a lot of young people in my life. 25, almost 30 years of working with young people in my life for a long time. And you can learn from a young person. That's how come I've learned to not take this angle of I'm just always the older adult. I know what I'm talking about. You don't. No, sometimes they can teach you and make you level up. Man, that the depth of understanding coming off of this small immature being that don't know nothing about life, and then all of a sudden that, oh wow, that's okay. So you can imagine the creator of his creation is definitely looking at that heartbroken, but at the same time wow, the fact that you would then make this you would try to appease me. You understand me and my position and who I am, and you're not trying to continuously disrespect me and ignore me like that darkened one over there. And even though I got great love for him, don't even understand that I can thump him until oblivion, he's still around on some ignorant Don't even realize that he could do the same thing too, but he's not going to, because the bitterness has changed him so much to the point to where he has his time and it's gonna come. Maybe he's waiting for that being to do what these other beings have did, and that being is just so bitter and angry and irritated, it's just don't even care. Very interesting. Let's keep going though. Okay. But God knew that Adam, this is chapter 25. But God knew that Adam in his thoughts that he should, but God knew that Adam, what Adam had in his thoughts, that he should often kill himself and make an offering to him of his blood. So think about this. So again, they're new. These are the new humans. So the Most High knew Adam was kept thinking like, oh, well, maybe I'll just have to keep doing that. And as long as he is pleased with us, that's it. Again, like they knew that they transgressed. So they were trying to get back. Like it's like having the most amazing love you ever had and you screw it up and you're trying to get the person to realize like, please, please, please. Like, I know I messed up and the person's just not trying to hear it, but you're the Most High. Adam has gotten through to the Most High and he's like, oh, well, maybe every time I just need to do that. So the Spirit's like knows that Adam is going to try and do that every time. So let's see what it says. And therefore the Most High said to him, oh, Adam, do not again kill yourself as you did by throwing yourself down from that mountain. But Adam said unto the Most High, it was in my mind to put it into myself at once for having transgressed. So that's why the Most High felt like how he felt, because he's like, man, you feel like man, you want to punish yourself for it. Okay, so you get it. All right, well, we might have something here, right? Because he didn't see that from the darkened one. Remember, he told them the darkened one continued to keep doing stuff. And then he tricked them, and then he tried to kill him. See, he's on that. That's the lying, the murder, the ignorance, the disrespect, the rudeness, the inhumanity, the just all of it, all the negative that arrives here from the energy of the human mind that it can choose from. That's it. So that's deep right there. So he says, like, because for having transgressed your commandments, and for having come out of the beautiful garden, and for the bright light of which you did deprive me, and for the praises which poured forth from my mouth without ceasing, and for the light that covered me, or the vibration that I was on, the joy that I had. And he says, for the light that covered me. But remember, the Most High told him, hey, I'm going to put this skin on you. So then now we got to really think, what state were they really in, yo? These sea creatures be having lights on them. Don't they? They do. So I think it's very interesting that they keep talking about lights. And I'm just going to say this. When you go and they put you in that machine in the hospital and they read your aura, your light, that machine reads a frequency of energy coming off of you, or the temperature of your light, if you will. That thing is not reading your skin. That light is coming from your nervous system. It's coming from the being that you actually are. Remember what it says, the eyes are the window to the soul, right? Yeah. So that's deep in itself. But because they would have had been in a physical state because they were created. But maybe not physical like human. You understand? But different perhaps, because it's saying it right here. And remember, it's already written. If you go back and listen, he said at that certain point, that's why I put the skin on you. So when you go in Genesis and it gets to talking about the covering up their bodies, was it literally in that state? Does asking these questions and dealing with this stuff change what the Messiah and change the sacrifice and change why it happened? We just went over why the Most High said he's going to do it. Do it change it? No. So why do we have all these people on the planet that just want to keep ignoring these keys here? Just things to ask yourself. I'm going to keep going because I know the Most High is real and I know what he's telling me to do. There ain't nobody going to be able to stop it either. So it is what it is. If they boot me off this here YouTube, guess what the Most High said? You're going to get a mega horn and you're going to hit these corners. You're going to be out there as a protester and I'm going to have you do it there. Wherever, they're not going to get away from it. So it don't matter. Wherever I go, they're not getting away from it. It just is what it is. So let me hurry up, because I'll get fired up and then I'll keep going. It didn't snowed. I got to go shovel the snow. It's late, whatever. So he says, which pour forth from my mouth in the light to cover me. Yet of your goodness, O Most High, do not do away with me because of your goodness. Don't do away with me altogether, but be favorable to me every time I die and bring me to life. And thereby, this is still Adam speaking to him. It's like, so I'm gonna die every time, bring me back. And I could just show you, this is how much I want you to know I'm sorry. That's deep right there, man. Like what I just said, when you lose one of the best loves you ever had in your life, you try to petition to the person, they ain't trying to hear it. They on that Lucifer thing, trying to be out here doing whatever. They don't care. They're not trying to forgive. They're not trying to be on none of that. But Adam's like, yo, I'm sorry. This is how I'm gonna show you every time. I just want you to understand that I recognize how bad I messed up. That's deep, man. That junk is deep. I gotta stop myself from having a little tear right there, because that is very powerful. That's very deep, especially when we're dealing with the early human and the spirit of the Creator, the spirit of the Heavenly Father, if you will. Okay, the spirit of the Most High, Elohim, Elahi, however you want to say it, Yahweh. What is represented as the Most High, and at the lowest phonetically, God and Lord, because the English were referring to themselves as God and Lord before they ever referred to the highest one as that. Right. So anyhow, let's keep going. Hold on. Where am I at? Okay. So he says, I just thought that maybe I'll just keep throwing myself off the mountain and you'll keep redeeming me, and we could do it that way. And thereby it will be made known to you that you are a merciful God, that you are a merciful leader, you are a merciful creator, you are a merciful highest one, who will not that one should perish, who love not that one should fall or fail. Like what I said to you earlier, the Spirit didn't find no positive energy in doing and seeing them messed up so he could punish them. No, that's not it. It just they had to walk it out now, because that is something that just had to be part of the equation before they were ever created. And if they did transgress, they was gonna have to walk it out. Your species is gonna have to walk that junk out now. It just is what it is. Don't do it. Okay, y'all did it, so walk it out. All right, so he says, you don't love that one should fail. He says, and who does not condemn anyone cruelly, badly, and by whole destruction. Whole destruction. The key there is, remember what we found out about the darkened one. He didn't even fully destroy him, even though he took the light from him. Even though he took the high wisdom, he took the voice. Remember, we read that here. Right. So that's why he says whole destruction. Like, you're not even going to fully even destroy like that. That just goes to show the affection, the affinity that the creation or the Creator has for its creation. Okay, so then Adam remained silent. He stopped talking. And the word of the Most High came onto him and blessed him and comforted him. And he covenanted with him, promised with him that he would save him at the end of the days determined upon him. This then was the first offering that the man, or Adam, made unto the Most High, and so it became the man's custom to do so. What? So that's why that's why the blood. So now when you look at the animals, why they were doing that, it goes all the way back there. But then that's why the Most High is like, look, man, I had already told the first humans I'm going to be coming. Then it pops up throughout the Old Testament. There's a point in the Old Testament where there is, and we're going to read it, we're going to get our eyes on that, where there's a king somewhere. There's one of these characters in the Old Testament, one of these people, not necessarily there's a character that is fake, but that is a person who even says something along that term. Like, there's going to be one that comes. It's always popping up. Even in Malachi, Daniel, it's there. Isaiah is there. In Malachi, it speaks on, the one who comes before the one. You need to be looking out for him. That's the Elijah that was prophesied to come before the one. So that was the John the Baptist, but they didn't understand, like, how could he be John the Baptist and not literally Elijah? And that's like what I always say. That's not the Yeshua returning is not the first time we've dealt with the concept of a human returning back to the planet as it relates to the Hebrews. Malachi prophesied at the end of Malachi, which is the last book in the Old Testament. Now, which not necessarily the last book that was written out of that time, because you got the Maccabean period after that, the 4 books of the Maccabees, which we're going to read through all of it. I have it all, and we're going to read through all that stuff. But the last book in the American English 66 scriptures, which are real, they just were translated. Malachi prophesies that the one who comes before the one who is to be the redemption, this what we just got done saying that the Most High was going to do, there's going to be one who comes before them. That's how you're going to know who that one is, and he's going to be the Elijah that was prophesied to come before the one. That was John the Baptist. They had this whole confusing conversation with the Messiah about it, who was God in the flesh. And he's like, look, man, that's the one who you was waiting for right there. But the world, they didn't even treat him right. They mistreated him. And had they known who he was, and he was talking about the church leaders who conspired to have John the Baptist martyred like he was, if they had known who he was, they wouldn't have did what they did to him. They would have been treating him with the utmost respect, because then everybody would have been ready for when the Messiah popped up. It would have been ready to get it happening right there. But then when the Messiah popped, they weren't ready. His ones that he made the covenant wasn't ready to do what they needed to do to get where they had to get, because they were still caught up in religiosity. They were still being oppressed by the Roman guard, the Roman government that had came and completely took over the nation to the north of Israel, and were pressing down into Judah very fast, to the point to where the Messiah himself prophesied and said, hey, about sometime, he said, hey, look, in the future, when they got you surrounded by every side, that was a prophecy of the Messiah. I think that was his last prophecy. That was the last thing he said before, and then he started facing his calling. That was one of the last things he said. It's like, well, when they got you surrounded, Judah, Jerusalem, Judea, because remember, the kingdoms had split into 2. When they got you surrounded, you better run for the hills. That's what the Most High told them. And they ran south into Africa. They ran into Egypt. They crossed over into Egypt. That's why them people got caught up in the slave trade. Yeah, they don't like dealing with that though. But whatever it is, what it is, Most High revealing, it just is what it is. So yeah, they ran south. That's what happened. And then Rome took over everything, and they've been sitting, listen close right here, they've been sitting on that seat ever since Revelation calls them out. And they are being so exposed right now, left and right. They keep trying to use this anti-Semitic argument. They keep trying to say all this stuff, and they're the spirit of lying is very prevalent on the planet. And we know what it says, that the deceiver is a great liar, or that devil, that's Satan, right? Just like Adam and Eve, first man, first woman, devil, Satan, Lucifer, that's just a label. God, Lord, it's just a label. Understand, okay? So I'm Most High saying jump into this chapter 26, and then we're gonna be finished. Okay, that's just a little side note for you. We trust me. We get through this vlog, we're going to get into that, especially when we come up on the New Testament. Oh man, that's when we're going to really get into that. But let's keep going. So then Adam took Eve, and they began. Okay, this one is entitled "A Beautiful Prophecy of Eternal Life and Joy: The Fall of Night." Then Adam took Eve, and they began to return to the cave of treasures where they dwelt. But when they neared it and saw it from afar, heavy sorrow fell upon Adam and Eve when they looked at it. Like, man, that's a human thing. You be right there. Had been just got delivered from something, or got your blessing, and then something can happen. Somebody say something. The next thing you know, you right back irritated. Right? That's the fight right there. That's the split nature right there. That's the duality that you got to deal with. That's why. You have to make sure that you stay persistent in making sure that you choose the right thing, because even with the redemption, with the redeeming power of salvation, and believing on the Most High, believing on the sacrifice, believing on the Most High, trusting the Spirit, reading the scriptures, all those things, you still have to walk it out, because sin is always crouching at the door, waiting to try and have you on some stuff, right? You can always end up moving backwards if you're not keeping yourself girded and ready to go. So they felt heavy sorrow when they saw themselves walking back upon this cave. So because that cave, you have to understand the cave represents the separation from where they were. So they have to do, every time they got to deal with that. That is part of the punishment. That is part of it. Hey, you were once high, and now you got to know that you ain't there, but you better not transgress no more. You better follow my commandment to your spirit, to your mind. I'm impressing on you, creation, because I'm your creator and I can. All right? That's just like a parent and a child. They know, man, because they can. So then Adam said to Eve, when we were on the mountain, we were comforted by the word of the Most High that conversed with us. And the light that came from the east, it did shine over us. But now the word of God, or now the word of the Most High, is hidden from us, okay? And the light that shone over us is so changed as to disappear and let darkness and sorrow come upon us. They were talking about the sun. So now they're seeing this rotation. So that lets you know wherever they were, like the lights was just always there. Like maybe there was no cycle of the, I don't know. It's just deep like that. Okay, let's keep going. And we are forced to enter this cave, which is like a prison. Wherein darkness covers us so that we are parted from each other, and you cannot see me, neither can I see you. So they didn't have that, no fire at this point. Okay. They probably didn't, they were going to learn all these things. They were going to keep going. They had to find the resiliency needed to keep pushing. And they were going to learn all these things. But you gotta see right here, they didn't have no fire. You know, once that sun went down, one time I was doing Lyft down in Georgia. I got a run deep in the South, deep in the South, like in the country South, like the houses is 1 mile apart from each other, like South, like a mile and a half mile away from each other. And the house is way back up on the land. So even if you down there driving, you really better be, you got to have a flashlight. You better know where you better be. It better be the middle of the day. Why? Because it's going to be super dark. And I ended up in a situation where I lost, my navigation system went out, but thanks to, to technology, that there was a route that had already, once my route was charted, I followed that, and my app went out, my all my data went out, so I still kept going to get the person. Like, man, I'm gonna just keep moving. Like, hey, and if I get there and they canceled or whatever, that's just who I am. Like, I'm gonna press through and get there because that's my job. I'm not going to second half step on my job. It just is what it is. Like, I'm not gonna be the one who's gonna be like, oh man, I ain't doing it. No, I'm gonna press through, and I'm an adventurist at that. So it's an adventure to me. Like, oh, this is a challenge. I'm gonna meet that challenge. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, it is what it is. It was so dark. First of all, I couldn't see nothing but the lines on the road ahead of me, and I could really only see that not too far ahead of me, and my lights eventually disappeared into darkness. There's no street lights. And y'all, I took the navigation system to where I had to stop, but like sometimes it would stop short, so I don't see any house, I don't see anything. And as I'm driving on my map, I start to see little plops of water, just water all around me. And I'm like, wait, what? And at a point where I'm almost about to drive into swamp that had been over the road, because that happens down there, that water level will rise and it'll cover the road. I see a light in behind me, because it's super dark, so I could see this light. And it's a phone. It's like a flashlight, or I eventually find out it's a phone because it was my passenger, and they're waving the phone. And right when I saw it, I'm like, oh, that must be them right there. Okay, cool. And y'all, let me tell y'all, when I went to turn my car, like at first, when I couldn't see really that far ahead of me, so I didn't know. But when I went to turn my car, all I saw was swampland. I said, oh. He came out at the perfect time. We had an amazing conversation, me and that guy. He was a country bumpkin, and I was a dark skinned city dude. We got to talk about Trump and everything. And this is like back in 2017. So that was a very interesting conversation. But by the time I got done, man, this man tipped me in cash. He tipped me on the app. And he just was like, man, you know, I haven't met too many. And he wasn't trying to be funny. But he's like, man, I haven't met too many black people like you, man. He's like, you know, he's like, man, you know, you really changed me with this conversation we had, man. You know, like, man, I really appreciate you. You pressed through, you picked me up, bro. He's like, man, just the fact that you even did that. And then when I picked him up, I took him probably maybe 10, 15 minutes from the Florida, Georgia line. So we were riding for like an hour and 20 minutes. So yeah, dark. So if you've ever been in a situation where the darkness encompass you and you just can't see anything, you got to imagine they didn't even have no car lights. Just, you can't see nothing in front of your face dark. That's what they're saying. Okay, so I just had to tell y'all a little quick story. So I'm look, just keep going and let's get. I'm about to finish this. I had to say that right there because that's what it made me think about. Okay, so that darkness is the darkness and sorrow comes upon us. And this is Eve continuing, and we are forced to enter this cave, which, okay, we already said that, and which is like a prison. I can't see you, you can't see me. And so when Adam, this was Adam. Oh no, this was Adam saying to Eve, I'm sorry. When Adam said these words, they wept and spread their hands before the Most High, for they were full of sorrow. And they entreated, or they begged, they petitioned to the Most High to bring the sun to them and to shine on them, so that darkness return not upon them, and they come not under again the covering of this rock. And they wish to die rather than see the darkness, because it's like they were distraught. They were overtaken. Okay. Then the Most High looked upon Adam and Eve and their great sorrow, and upon all they had done with a fervent heart, on account of all the trouble they were in, instead of their former well-being, and on account of all the misery that came upon them in a strange land. So he sees that they're starting to really have a hard time with this transition. Okay. Therefore, the Most High did not have wrath towards them. It says was not wroth with them, but that's in Old English means he wasn't angry with them, nor was he impatient with them. That's what it says next. But he was long suffering, patient, and forbearing towards them. He understood, as towards the children he had created. As towards children he had created, right? Like little children. Then came the word of the Most High to Adam and said unto him, or the first man, and said unto him, Adam, as for the sun, if I were to take it and bring it to thee, days, hours, years, and months would all come to naught, and the covenant I have made with thee would never be fulfilled. But you should then be turned and left in a long plague, and no salvation would be left for you ever. Okay. Yes, rather bear long and calm your soul while you abide night and day until the fulfillment of the days and the time of my covenant has come. Like what I just said a few minutes ago. You're going to have to walk this thing out. Then shall I come and save you, O Adam, for I do not wish that you be so afflicted. And when I look at all the good things in which you did live, and why you came out of them, then I will willingly show you mercy. That right there is very powerful, because like I always say, I always say, and I say this to my friends, I say this to people that I know who, you know, they follow this path, and we talk about deep things all the time. And I always say, he's always waiting for those humans who are going to choose to just do the right thing no matter what's going on, because they know that you can choose to do the wrong thing, but they're the ones who's going to say enough is enough, I'm good. Just like the first man and the first woman transgressed and they chose to do that, then the ones who choose to come up from out that mire, and the reason that they can is because of the salvation of the Messiah, because then we just heard why there, because that's what's accepted by the Creator. The Creator himself came down and said, okay, I'm going to do that because the first man and the first woman had me staring at them in marvel and wonder that they would even try to petition me like that. So if they can do that, I can definitely send a representative of myself to go through that for the human. Powerful. So then right here it says, I'll see all the things you've went through and that you chose to do the right thing, then I'll willingly show you mercy and I'll bring you back. And I believe that time is extremely close upon us, if it's not already here right now. Oh yeah, all the signs are pointing to it. All the prophecies, all the keys, everything is aligning. So he okay. I will willingly show you mercy. I'm sorry. But I cannot alter the covenant that has gone out of my mouth. Else I would have brought you back into the garden. I would have brought you back into the garden, but I can't go against my own self. I would have brought you back to the high place, but no, you're going to walk it out because of what he just said. You got to walk it out. If you didn't walk it out before it was time, you're going to be plagued long, and I'm not going to let that happen. That's what he just told him. So because you transgressed, I told you not to. This is what happens because you did, and I told you what was going to happen, and you still did it. So okay, there's your punishment for your race. Until I feel like at some point in your race, some of these people choose to get it. I'm just saying that's what it just said right there. So he says, when, however, the covenant is fulfilled, then shall I show you and your seed mercy and bring you into a land of gladness where there is neither sorrow nor suffering, but abiding joy and gladness and light that never fails and praises that never cease and a beautiful garden that shall never pass away. And the Most High said unto Adam, be long-suffering and enter the cave, for the darkness of which you were afraid shall only be 12 hours long, and when ended, light shall arise for you. Then when Adam heard these words from the Most High, he and Eve worshiped before him, and their hearts were comforted. So then they started to understand, oh, this is a cycle. They didn't understand, like we already spoke about this. You got to come back up to where we are now. This thing has already been 41 minutes. So, I didn't want this to be that long, but it's all good. It's already been 41 minutes. So let's hurry up and finish. Go listen to where we are now, and then you'll understand everything, why this all matters. Okay. They returned into the cave after their custom, while tears flowed from their eyes. Sorrow and wailing came from their hearts, and they wished their soul would leave their body. They didn't want to have to feel it, but it just is what it is. They had to walk it out. And Adam and Eve stood praying until the darkness of night came upon them, and Adam was hid from Eve, and she from him, and they remained standing in prayer. And that's the end of chapter 36. Y'all, I'm telling y'all now. Okay, now this is all the little, rest of the stuff, just my little comments and just some little end comments, and then that's it. So, that the content is over, but I'm going to tell you right here, these next 2 to 3 chapters is about to get very interesting, because guess who is not done with guess who's not done with tripping and trying to keep on doing the most? That Lucifer, that Satan, that devil, that darkened one, bring his little decrepit, evil, rusty, stink breath self back around again, trying to be on some extra stuff. It's about to get so interesting over the next few chapters, dog. Listen, keep coming back. Hit the subscription button. Every time it's something new on here. We're not never dealing with anything that we've dealt with before unless we're just making reference. We're going to keep moving through. This is a journey, so you definitely need to keep coming back. I am cutting the videos down to a day and a half. And then I'm going to do a short and kind of like introduce myself and pin it. And I'm going to let people know that, I was going to go six times a week, because I'm just that serious. And I love what I'm doing here so much. And I'm like, man, I could do this all the time. And that, like, batch recording it, I don't care. Like, I'll spend 3-4 hours and batch record this stuff, because first of all, I'm reading, I'm edifying myself, I'm edifying others, and I love reading, and I love speaking, and I just love it anyway. So, and I love the Spirit of the Most High. So, and I know that the Most High is real. Nobody's going to be able to ever tell me that the Most High ain't real. It don't matter. I don't care. It does not matter. I've had people in my family come against me. I've had friends come against me, or who I thought were friends. They ain't friends no more. They people that I know. But I've had people come against me. I've had people slander me. I've had people talk about me. I've had people take advantage of me. I guarantee you some people have took advantage of me and sat back in the background and said, oh, he's supposed to have the most high so much. Look, look, look. Yeah, okay. All you did was expose yourself. That ain't going to stop me. And like I said, you got to take that up with the most high. So I love what I do here. But I am going to bring the frequency down to every other day, because first I need to make sure that I stay consistent with this, and second, I don't want to overdo it, and that's going to give people time to catch up and listen. You know, maybe they might listen to half and come back and listen to the other half, which y'all kind of need to listen to these things all the way through. So when you sit down, listen to it all the way through, it helps my analytics. But this is my tithe. This vlog is a tithe. This is a tithe of my time, of my energy, of my spirit, of my mind. So I'm not, listen, if this is blessing you, it's supposed to bless you. Listen how you need to listen. I'm going to present it how it needs to be presented. And y'all hit that subscription button, hit the notification bell, share it with somebody if you like it. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If you disagree with something, leave a comment. Let's get some dialogue flowing. Let's let the spirit of the Most High, our higher intelligence that comes from the spirit of the Most High, let's let that work for us, and let's do this good work, right? Y'all be blessed. Peace.